Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a brand new series here with a game called Judgment Apocalypse Survival Simulator. It's basically exactly what the name entails. It is a survival game, and it sort of reminds me of games like Dwarf Fortress, RimWorld. I would even go so far as to say like Prison Architect and stuff like that. You basically control a group of people. You build a colony, you're trying to survive. It's going to be a lot of fun. This game is developed by Suncrash Studios. They were nice enough to send me a key to check the game out, so thank you to them. Really excited to give this a spin. Now, it is early access, so do keep that in mind. A lot of the features we see, and if we come into any bugs or glitches, all of those things are going to be worked out over time. But this is a very early access game. Now, let's actually start a new game. There's kind of a storyline / mission that you accomplish while you're playing the game, and so we'll hit start new game here, and then that'll actually get us going. Now we've got beginner difficulty and normal difficulty. Of course, we're gonna go normal difficulty because I don't believe in beginner difficulties. Normal difficulty is the way that a game is supposed to be played, I believe. So, all right, so here we are. So shelter. Well, camping out, 4 of you were attacked by a single powerful creature. Together, you barely managed to take it down, but Ned didn't make it. All around, more red eyes told of awful things looming in the shadows. You grabbed your supplies and made your way back to town, only to find it has been overrun, burning under a red sky. The apocalypse has begun. The 3 of you made your way to a nearby hidden valley that you used to hike to. It seems safe, for now. You should set up camp, start with a shelter, a place to eat, and rest. Build a log cabin with a food table and a bed. So that's kind of how the game starts out. So it gives you this cool kind of mission log where you can sort of follow it, and it's supposed to help you essentially accomplish things in sort of a meaningful order. So we are going to follow the mission log because it does help. And it's a good tutorial as well to help the game, help you learn the game. It definitely works out a lot. But I will go over some of the things that are happening. So here we go, kind of a tutorial coming up, showing us how to do things. I'm not going to worry about those because when they pop up, I'll basically just show you guys what's going on. So here's our 3 survivors. Up here we've got a little timer, so that kind of lets us know we can start and stop time simply with the pause button. We can also speed up time all the way to 8 times the speed. Then we've got a mission screen, so this is where it's going to tell us, your next mission or sort of like a quest line. We've got our inventory, so you can see we've got some food, we've got some water, some scraps, stone, wood, boards, bricks, and wool. All of these are things that we'll have to craft, harvest, or scavenge over time. We've got our task screen, which you can go into and actually assign tasks to our small group of people here. We've got the actual task lists, so this will tell us what tasks I have queued up. Sort of like maybe Dwarf Fortress or RimWorld, where you can see all the tasks that are queued up and what you're trying to accomplish. We've got the build screen, which will actually let us know what we can build. We can add on to this screen using the research screen, which basically just allows you to research certain technologies and whatnot, and certain types of weapons, certain types of food, like farming, animal raising, woodworking, all sorts of really cool stuff in here to mess around with, and I'll get more into that as we get a little bit deeper into the game. And then you got your crafting menu, and you've got an actual world map. So before I go into the world map, we'll take a look around here. We can see this is the starting zone that we have, so not too bad. A couple of things to note is definitely where the resources are. So you want to make sure you're building in an area that has really useful resources or a little bit of everything close by. But the most importantly, the big thing I've noticed is you want to build near your well. So each place starts out with a well, and as I've found so far, until you actually go and build your own well, which takes a lot, you're going to want to build somewhat close to the well so you can actually get it actually start harvesting from it pretty early on, and your villagers or survivors, as we'll call them, your survivors don't have to walk as far to get water because they go hungry very, very quickly, which I'm assuming will probably get fixed at some time. As you'll see as the game goes on, they get hungry just a little bit too fast. But Yeah, it seems like building probably right in this area might be a good spot. Actually, like right here, because that's going to give us plenty of trees. We got some coal nearby, some gems, some clay. So gems up here, clay right here. The well's right there, and then the stone is a little farther than I would like, but it's not too far. And we've even got some camps over here that we can scavenge through and try to locate some medicine or scraps. So other than that, not a bad location. I think that is where we're going to build. However, before I start that process, let's take a look at the world map real quick and see where we actually are. So here is our actual survival, our village per se, a little survival camp. We can see we spawn next to 2 military bases. They've got some enemies there and also some loot. We can get a rough idea of what kind of loot is there. We could also do some scouting and actually reveal more nearby locations. So if I wanted to scout like this area, say, then it would reveal more of the map. You can actually zoom out and see the map is very, very large. So all sorts of places to explore. We've got a hospital, another military base, some suburbs, and some supermarkets, which are usually a little bit better guarded by enemies. So all sorts of really neat places to check out. Now, taking a look at our actual survivors, they all have different traits and abilities. Let's take a look at Liz first. So she's got gathering of +1. She's a hoarder, and she's a meat lover, so that gives her nutrition +15, energy -10. So not bad. She's actually pretty good. Then we've got Michael. He's good at farming. However, he's weak. He's a vegan, and he's a technophobe, so he sucks at doing science. You can see that's kind of annotated by the red 0, and same with combat. He's a vegan, so that actually makes him suck at combat. That's kind of funny, but yeah. So yeah, Michael there, gonna be pretty good for farming, probably gathering and stuff. All of these skills can be raised. This little bar on the side here is actually a level bar, so as soon as you cap that out, you gain a level in that, and that allows your characters to do things or accomplish things quicker. And then we've got Bobby over here. So Bobby, she's an alien abductee, which is pretty interesting. She's got occult +1, science +1, and crafting +1, but she's not good at farming. So a pretty well-balanced team, other than the fact that nobody here is really good at combat, so that kind of sucks. But other than that, not pretty well-balanced. We've got our gatherer. This Liz will probably be our combat person as well, and our builder. We've got Michael. He's going to be doing farming, fetching water, and then helping out with gathering. And then we've got Bobby here, who's going to be sciencing, crafting. Sciencing, is that a real thing? It's going to be doing science. It's going to be crafting and doing occult research and gathering. So that's how we're going to break that up here. But before we do anything, let's actually name, let's see. Michael, since you're the only male, but you're a vegan, I don't want to be you, but then it's 2 females. So I guess I'm going to be a female for this playthrough. But Liz is actually going to be me. Oop. So that's Liz there, and then if you guys want to be named after any characters, let me know, and I'll gladly do that. I don't imagine that this playthrough is going to last too long, because I've already played the game a couple times, and I keep dying horrendously, because generally it's actually because all of my people just starve constantly. I just constantly starve. I just think that right now, as the game stands, your survivors just consume way too much food. So hopefully that'll get updated in the future. But they're consuming food at a rate that I can't even produce it normally. But we'll see how long we can last either way. So let's go ahead and do the very first thing, and that's set up a log cabin and get somewhat of a home set up for our survivors. So I'm thinking what we'll probably do, we want to make sure we have room for gardens at some point. So I'm thinking what we'll do is we'll do probably this location right here. So that'll give us the ability to be pretty close to all of our resources that we want to harvest, as well as let's go ahead and start setting up some tasks for our survivors to do. So we want to cut down all these trees here, start making room for expansion. We're also going to want to harvest some stone. So let's go back into the task menu. We'll harvest a little bit of stone here. That's something we're going to need. And then I think that's going to be it for now. Let me go through and check. You can actually kind of move around the priorities here on what you want these guys to do. You always want their needs to come first, because you want them to sleep or eat or drink water and do things that are going to keep them alive before they do anything else. But it's funny that you can actually make their needs like last if you wanted to. So I think that's pretty interesting, because if you absolutely have to do something and it cannot wait, you can actually be like, no, sleeping and eating can wait. I need you to accomplish this mission. So kind of cool there. So we've got me here. I'm a gatherer, and I'm going to be the combat person as well. So let's go ahead and Where's combat? Training. Training would be combat. So let's put training up near the top. However, we don't have a training post yet, but when that does happen, I want that to be up there. But I'm also going to be good at chopping trees. I'm going to do the chopping stone. Building will be near the bottom there, but I want search debris up there as well, because that's kind of like something that would be like a combat related thing, searching through debris and stuff, and searching for survivors and whatnot. Fetching water can be right there. Building, actually, we'll put above fetching water for now. Minecraft farm. Okay, we'll leave everything the same, and I'm not going to do anything science related, so we're just going to turn all of those off. Same with farming. Actually, same with fetching water as well. And let's just put those at the bottom. So these are things I'm not going to do. But I'm going to craft above mine. Okay, so that's me there. Now let's go ahead and set up Michael. So Michael's pretty good at farming, right? So his priorities, farming is going to start off at the top. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to put fetch water as well up there. We want Michael to just worry about fetching water. We don't want him to worry about any research or anything like that, because he sucks at science. He sucks at combat. So we're just going to turn training off for him as well. I want him to build, I think. No, wait. I'll have to look at the other person first. When he's not farming or fetching water, I want him chopping trees, because wood seems to be the one thing I'm always running out of. And search debris I'll turn off too. We'll leave everything like that for now. Okay, now let's take a look at Bobby here. So Bobby, you're pretty good at science, right? So we're going to have her crafting whenever she's not doing anything else. She's going to be crafting, or she's going to do crafting first whenever I need crafting done, but when she's not crafting, she's going to do scientific research or occult research or rituals. We'll keep training up there as well, but if she's not crafting and she's not doing any of those, then I want her chopping trees, I want her helping to get stone, and I want her fetching water. I need somebody that can actually build as well. So we're going to turn farming off, I think. Yeah, we're going to turn farming off. She actually sucks at farming because she was an alien abductee. Not really sure how that works, but we'll put build above that. We'll keep train near the bottom, but I'm not going to turn it off, but I will turn search debris off. Okay, we're going to keep her like that. I think she's going to be pretty well rounded for the most part. So Michael, I want you to actually be me, because I got train, chop trees, and quarry. So when I'm not doing, if there's anything that needs to be built, I want to make sure I'm the one building it. I'll be building it. If there's training to be done, I'll be training. But if I'm not training, then I'm chopping trees, I'm chopping stone, I'm searching debris, I'm crafting, or I'm mining. Okay, awesome. So now we've got all the priorities set out. We can finally unpause the game. I know that kind of took a little while, but here we go. Finally actually getting into it. Our survivors here are moving forward, probably to go build this building first. Once we get this up, we can start building some other things as well. So Michael there going to start chopping trees down. Bobby's going to help out with those trees. And I built that up, so I think I'm going to go end up chopping trees as well. Trees are pretty important, but unfortunately I've actually got more things to build, so we need to get a bed up so we can do some sleeping, and we need to get a food table up so we can actually do some eating, because we're going to start getting hungry very quick. And I'm not joking. Look at that nutrition meter drop. It's literally 1 every second. It's kind of a pain, because then at that rate, we can say that they get hungry by the second. So 115 would be 115 seconds worth of not getting hungry, which is actually not the case, because they usually eat about like 30 nutrition out. They go get food, and they waste like another 15 nutrition getting food. More like 5. Let's not overblow it, but more like 5 nutrition getting food. But in the long run, if you look at somebody like Bobby, okay, they're both the same, but if you look at like Bobby, she's got 100 nutrition. If she goes and eats around 30, that means she's only got 70 seconds of actual productivity time, which is not a lot when you think about it. Maybe only 5 or 4 pieces of food. So definitely a very tough simulator, but that's okay. I don't mind the challenge. However, I do think the nutrition could maybe be tweaked just a little bit, because it is pretty tough. Yeah, so looking at the mission here, so now that we have a base of operations, you now have a base of operations, but you are far from safe. Your supplies won't last forever. If you don't find a food and water source, you won't live long enough to worry about those creatures finding you. Before you can grow your own food, you need to learn how. Build an experiment table and research farming. So I'm going to build an experiment table here, and then we'll take a look at how researching things actually happens. Let's go ahead and queue up some more trees to be chopped, because that's going to be important. And then we also want to set water up to be fetched. So Michael's going to go ahead and do that now because we want to start fetching water early in the game. Now we have a lot of water here and it looks like everything's going to be okay, but I can assure you everything is not going to be okay. We are going to burn through this water fast. I'm talking fast. Faster than Michael could probably get it, to be honest with you. But we're going to try really hard. The characters, they waste a lot of time eating and sleeping. So they do very little productivity. If you like games that require very intense micromanagement, this is the game for you. Because you've definitely got to watch these guys. Make sure that they're actually, you got to really organize and make sure everybody's doing something efficiently. Okay, so we're taking a look at Bobby right now. She's actually going ahead and doing some research. So let's talk a little bit about science. So we've got these beakers up here. This is your scientific research. So when you go to the actual research screen, everything costs a certain amount of beakers. So every single time Bobby here queues up or gets a full bar here, she gets 1 beaker. And then that goes towards getting a certain type of technology. So farming, I need 10 beakers to actually be able to research this. So we got to get those vegetable farms as soon as possible because food runs out very quickly. Total nutrition value, so we're looking at 3,154. So you could essentially say that that's 3,135 now. 3,135 seconds worth of all of my villagers surviving, or my survivors surviving. So if you actually want to do the math, you could actually see like when you could actually take when they eat, you know, how many seconds, since it goes down by the second, you know, how many seconds they have of actual productivity value, all 3 of them eating at the same time, add that up, and that'll let you know how long in real time you could survive until you actually run out of nutrition value. So I'm not going to do all that. We're not going to bust out spreadsheets or anything, get out of control. But it is something to keep in mind that if you wanted to do that, you actually could. Okay, so what do we need to build next? We've got to get a crafting table up. That's going to be pretty important to actually get a workbench up with a crafting table. However, I'd rather get farms up. So we're going to hopefully get the research going. We'll worry about crafting after we get the farms going because I want to try. That's something different that I haven't done yet. Usually I put the crafting table down before the farms. However, this time I'm going to put the farms down before the crafting table. See if that makes a big difference. So we've got 8 there. Once Bobby's done, actually, and she gets her 10, we're going to take her off of research because we need her doing other things like harvesting stone and harvesting wood and not doing any more research. Not at least until it's definitely needed. Okay, so she's all finished up. Let's go ahead and get the farming research going, and we'll let this mission pop up here. So we figured out how to use farms, and basically it's just telling us now we got to build 2 vegetable farms. If we go to the build screen, we can see if we've unlocked them. We can already build the first one. Let's go ahead and do that. I believe we can almost build the second one. We just need some stone. So let's actually cancel some of these trees here so we can get Sabouts here going down and getting some stone. Michael's going to keep gathering water. Okay, and Bobby, what we're going to do with Bobby now is we're actually going to take her off of scientific research. So she'll go and chop some trees and get some stone for us. Actually, you know what? We'll keep tree chopping going since it's so imperative that we actually get these trees chopped. Here, get that one first just because it's bothering me. You can actually manually control your people too. You could walk them around everywhere, which I probably shouldn't do because I'm wasting time. You can tell them to do certain things. So you can actually manually take control of them. Now I'm going to go build the farm because I have that higher priority than my other things. Then hopefully I'll go get some stone or I'll chop some more trees down. Either way, I need all of those materials. Michael's still gathering water there for us. Pretty good. We're saving up for a log cabin after we get this vegetable farm. And then once we get the log cabin, we're going to turn that into we're going to put a workbench in there so we can actually craft ourselves some tools. However, I don't need a workbench to craft food from the farms. So normally I get the workbench first and then I get the farms, but I think that is why I had such an issue with nutrition. So maybe this playthrough will actually be my lucky one because I'm going farms before I go workbench. Basically how the farms works is your farmer's got to go over, he's going to water it, and once he waters it, you'll start getting kind of a tick. It'll start ticking up to when the vegetables actually grow. So Michael should be going to take care of the farm. He's going to plant some seeds because that is higher on his list than fetching water. So I really like that priority list. I think it's pretty useful. It does take a little micromanaging, but it's, for me, a lot of fun because I don't mind those things at all. And Bobby, why don't we get you going to fetch stone actually, because I'm going to need more stone, right? Because that's what we need to get the next farm. 3 more pieces of stone. So we'll have you doing that. So now something else to keep in mind that is very, very important. We're cutting down a lot of trees. Trees do not regrow by themselves. We have to plant trees. We have to essentially plant a tree farm. We're going to go ahead and do that now. It takes a long time for trees to grow. We want to be prepared when the time comes. We want to make sure we have plenty of trees nearby ready to cut. So we're going to go ahead and if you hold shift, you can actually build multiple things at the same time. And we're going to do rows of 2 by 5 for trees. And at least every day, I'm going to try at least once a day to plant one more row of trees because these take at least 2 to 3 days to grow game time. So we want to get those trees out there ASAP because you only get 1 log per tree you cut. And if it takes 20 logs to build something, that's 20 trees. There's about 20 trees right here. So this is literally 1 farm. Yeah, not good. So we need to be planting trees every chance we can. Wells also very micromanaging our villagers to make sure that they're doing the things we need. So if we take a look at the inventory here, we'll see that we're actually just keeping up with the water. However, food is on the decline, 139. We got to get those farms up very fast. You can see we've already burnt through a massive stockpile of food and we're not even past day 1. So these people eat like there's no tomorrow. We only need 1 more stone. Bobby should be on her way to get that now. No, she's cutting that tree. We're going to tell her to go get another stone. Then we'll tell her to go cut the tree down because we want to get a log cabin so we can get a workbench, which we're actually going to need more stone for as well as more scraps. I may not have enough. So we'll kind of tackle that when that problem comes. Might take Michael off the water gathering for just a minute. Have him help gathering some other things. But once she gets that last stone, we'll go ahead and build this last farm, which I'll have to build once I'm done planting these trees up here for us. So you can see here, if we click on them, we can see the maturity is 20. That'll slowly tick up as time goes on. And we can see how much wood everything's worth. It's all worth 1 wood for now anyways. Same with the vegetable farm. As the water ticks down, the maturity ticks up. So Michael's got to go there and water it every now and again so we can keep that maturity high and going. Once the maturity hits 100, and then that's when you'll have your plants that you can pick and then turn into food. You should be able to build the vegetable farm now. Let's go ahead and build another one. Bobby, let's get you cutting trees down because we're going to need more trees. And we'll actually queue up some more to be cut. So like I said, already burning through the forest pretty quickly. That's just how the game works. You're going to burn through it pretty fast. And we'll queue up another row of trees there as well. Keep everybody busy. So, alright, we're going to pause the game though. However, we are at the end of this episode. Pretty awesome game. Definitely excited to be giving it a try. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll see how long we can survive the apocalypse. There's a lot of features I've even yet to brush on yet, so we'll keep going ahead and I'll show those off as we move forward. However, I do hope you guys are excited for this series. If you do want to be added as one of the characters, please let me know in the comments below. And thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you next time.